He was born in St. Paul, Minnesota, and he was expected on the 1st of January. He came the 5th of January, and we were having a horrible blizzard. And of course, after in Minnesota, when you have bad blizzards, the temperature isn't that cold. But when that passed through, then it became 20 below. So the first couple of days we had this horribly cold weather, had to take the baby home. So we got moving pretty fast there when the spring arrived, and he enjoyed being outside. He's always loved nature, and if he wasn't asleep, he was moving some parts of his body, moving his whole body. He was always investigating things and very curious about everything. I think the first airplane trip he took, we went to Montreal, and then we visited Quebec, and I've got a cute story about that. We were at a little French cafe, of course, and it was very small with really tiny tables, and we were winding our way through, being led by the maitre d', and then I followed, and then Taylor, and then he was holding Buckley's hand, so Buckley was at the very end. Now, he was under 2 years old at this time, and by the time we reached our table, Buckley had a lamb chop. He was holding onto a lamb chop. He was like, oh no. So we went back, tried to discover where he had snagged this lamb chop, and sure enough, right off someone's plate. The man hadn't even realized it, you know. So we paid for that man's meal that evening. But that's the kind of little kid he was, just all, you know, we'd get to some new place, open the door, and he'd be gone. He'd be climbing the nearest tree. He'd be up on the 3rd story saying, hey, Mom, hey, Dad. He was very adventurous. I mean, he swam. He was fearless. He ran right into the ocean, just bopped around on the waves. He had no fear of the water at all. He loved it. He you know, did all the typical things like biking. He had a mini bike, motorized bike when he was like 4 years old. He spent a lot of time pushing that because he would go out in the sand dunes and it would bog down real fast. Skateboarding, you know, I don't really remember. I think he observed people skateboarding or kids. I don't remember anyone in our neighborhood, but maybe on TV or something. But he decided that he was interested in that. We bought him a horrible plastic thing. It was real tiny, and it didn't go very well. The wheels weren't very good, but he loved it. He wanted to do that. So about 7 or 8, he got that skateboard. And then shortly after that, Kona opened, and then he started going there. He wanted to live there. Like in the summertime, every day. I mean, you know, what time do you want to go? I'm trying to pick you up. Yeah, he spent every day there when he was 7 or 8. First skateboard, I remember we spent, like, putting it all together, the various parts. It cost $100, 40 years ago. That was a ton of money, $100, you know, times that by 4 or 5 today, you know. And I thought, wow, this, you know, you better really enjoy this because this is expensive. He just devoted all of his time to it, so he picked up on it right away. And the older guys around there, you know, thought that he was cute, doing all these tricks, and they would encourage him a lot. And then when he got a little bit older, they'd want to take him off on trips, and I don't know what kind of mom I was. I let him go with all these older guys. I don't even want to know what experiences he had. He never told me, but I'm sure they're very interesting. He didn't excel at school and studying. His dad would always say, do you think you're going to make a living at skateboarding? And then the royalties started coming in, and he was only like 13 or 14, and it's like, hey, maybe he could make a living at this, you know. So that was pretty funny when his dad was helping him do his income tax, because he made good money there in the early years.
And dropping again, looks to be the crowd favorite here, Buck Smith. I think bionic is about the best word to describe this skater here today, and if the crowd's reaction is any indication, if they could predict what the judges are going to come up with, Buck Smith seems to have some kind of an edge here in this competition. The crowd certainly reacts to him. He seems to be really taking it a great